We've talked about the NIL. The NIL is name, image, and likeness. And name, image, and likeness was supposed to be one of those deals where I go to Indiana University. I start out there. I'm there. And because of who I am at this school, Slappy Jones is going to pay me money to advertise his product. We got a guy, Trace Jackson Davis, for Pennzoil. Really? I'm going to get Pennzoil because Trace Jackson Davis, who has led Indiana to no winning seasons in the Big Ten during his time at Indiana, does an ad and says, use Pennzoil. Okay. But that's the way that NIL was supposed to be used. Well, it's not used that way. What NIL has become is, look, I'm Slappy Jones. I sit in the front row of Hurricane basketball. I'm John Ruiz. I'm going to go pay two girls that dribble basketballs in their underwear on Instagram to come play women's basketball for us. And I'm going to go pay a kid who averaged 17 points, got his coach fired at Kansas State, $400,000 a year for 2 years, and a car to come play basketball for my school. That's called pay for play. That's not NIL. And so now the NCAA is saying, wait a second, hold the phone. We need to look at this. And in fact, it is being looked at with the idea, this is interesting to me, it is being looked at with the idea that the rules may change today. Yes, I said today. Gene Smith, who's the best athletic director in the country, he's come out and he said, look, we understand there are going to be lawsuits. And anybody that understands lawsuits, and the NCAA knows the NCAA is about 0 for a lifetime in lawsuits. Okay, but they're accepting of that. What they are trying to do, and let me use a popular nomenclature, put the toothpaste in the tube. Take out the bathwater with the baby. I don't know. But what I know what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, hey, look, let's get some guardrails on this. Let's make damn sure that this is name, image, and likeness. Now, everybody has to always say this, particularly white guy. White media guy always has to say, and I'm all for the NIL. I'm all for players making as much money as they can. White guy, 58, 59-year-old white guy, I got to say that every time. Because the race for moral supremacy is on. And if you don't say that, then what happens is little white guy in his 20s, oh, you don't want to see kids get money. No, that's not what I said. I said I'm for it. I got to say I'm for it. Whether I'm for it or not, I'm for it. I mean, let's be honest. You're never going to hear a white guy say he ain't for it. Ain't happening. But anyway, so here's the deal. So they're going to decide, hey, look, we're going to try to put the toothpaste back in the tube, and the commissioners from both the SEC and the Pac-12 went in front of Congress and asked Congress for help. Because this all goes back to a Supreme Court ruling saying, hey, you got to pay these guys. Okay, you got to pay these guys. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, what we're trying to do is we are trying to say, let's put guardrails on it. Let's make the name, image, and likeness, let's mean what it was meant to be. Now, everybody knows. And Bob Bowlesley, the commissioner, I think, of the Pac-12 said it. He goes, hey, look, I don't want to say I told you so, but I kind of told you so, right? So now a special committee, a subcommittee with Gene Smith and a bunch of others is meeting with trying to pass legislation today and go after schools that have already violated the rules. See, there is a rule in place that says you cannot use outside inducements to get somebody to come to your school. Well, everybody ignored it. Everybody. I got point guard from a Hall of Fame coach that was coming to that school until he got a $500,000 offer from another school and he went to the other school. And now the alumni are on this guy's backside saying, what happened? I thought you had the guy. He goes, yeah, well, what are you going to do? $500,000. We've had an athletic director at Wichita State fired because he didn't do enough to ensure funds for athletes. 18 to 23-year-olds must be taken care of at the United States' most influential universities. And the world's biggest, best must be taken care of because they're 18 to 23. And how dare we not give them everything they want? But they're actually right now meeting to see if they can change the legislation to make it go back to what the intent was, which is, as you know, name, Dakich, image, likeness. Where's my billboard? Once I'm at a school. But this isn't new. Let me explain something to you. Tate's Lock has in his book, Trying to Recruit Phil Ford. Tate's Lock was a legendary cheat/coach in the NCAA basketball. Has made a career being kind of a workout guy, a guru type guy in the NBA. I worked with Tate's. I love Tate's. Tate's was the head coach at Clemson trying to recruit Phil Ford. Those of you old enough to remember, Phil Ford was iconic in college basketball. The four-corner offense of North Carolina. Phil Ford. We all remember. National Player of the Year, Olympian, all that happy horse bleep. So Phil Ford's being recruited. Phil Ford lives on a street. Not really a street, though. It's just a little road. So what does Tate's Lock do? He calls one of his alumni. They go clear out a bigger road for Phil Ford to get to his house. That's how they were recruiting him. What does Dean Smith do? Smarter than Tate's Lock. Dean Smith sees this. Dean Smith says, screw that. I'm going to pave the road. So now the road's paved. And that's inducement to come to school. Hey, look, I paved your road. Also, furniture was involved. That was a big Lou Henson thing, furniture. Oh, thank you. Look at my wife. She's bringing in coffee. I was going to kiss her, but no one wants to see old people kiss. Is that right, Lee?
That's right.
Nobody. Nobody. If you're an old guy and you think it's cute that you're kissing your wife or your girlfriend or both in public, nah. But anyway, so that's inducement to come. Roy Williams used to do it the other way. Roy Williams say, hey, look, play here. When you leave, I'm going to give you golf clubs, 15 grand. He got nabbed by the NCAA because you're not supposed to do that either. So there's two different kinds, but this has always been going on. This has always happened. That's why the rule book is that thick. Anytime, I've said this before, a meathead that wants to discuss the NCAA says, well, that rule book is thick. Just tell them, don't be an idiot. It's that thick because coaches will always try to circumvent the rules and cheat. That's what's happening here. So what's happening? The NCAA says, we got to do something. We'll probably be talking about what they did or did not do tomorrow on the show because according to Gene Smith, the athletic director at Ohio State, they ain't worried about lawsuits. They're going to go after people that have already done this because the rule is in place and some legislation is supposed to be passed by as early as this afternoon. We shall see. Stay tuned.